My name's Coree Thorpe. I'm a Yorta Yorta, Gunnai, Gunditjmara and Wurundjeri man, growing up in Melbourne.
Obviously, art is a huge part of your life and the community aspects of your life as well. How did, you fall into art? What drew you to art?
Again, mum and dad are both artists. Have strong art through all my family. It's just one of the bigger connectors for Aboriginal people back to cultural process. That's our language, and that's how we continuate us as people and mobs and how we pass it down. So I've been fortunate enough to have really strong, members in my family and extended family. They're well-known artists as well, and they've done a lot of amazing stuff. So it's just been in the blood, I think.
How fulfilling is it for you to, continue that story and keep on that tradition that your parents and beyond have done?
For me, it's really important. It always helps ground me when there are things, and helps connect me back to making sure I know who I am and my identity and where I'm from. So I'm fortunate enough to understand that and continue to learn that as I get older, and it's a forever journey until I pass away.
Your art has obviously come to life on the Storm jersey. Can you, explain for starters how the opportunity came about?
Yeah, I think in the last few years I've done some work with the Melbourne Storm in my everyday job, and that's been amazing. Working closely with them around my work, which is about accountability and working with trauma and working with families around strengthening and helping support. And then in that I've just been afforded the opportunity to create an artwork that represents Storm and myself and that connection, and I jumped at the chance.
What was, your initial thinking when you started the project?
Yeah, great question. I think for me the initial thoughts when I do any artwork is, how do I connect to that artwork? How do I tell that story from my point of view, but from a point of view that also opens up to other people connecting to that artwork. So it's not just for myself, especially when it's part of a bigger organisation like the Melbourne Storm. So firstly, I'd been an avid supporter and a member of Storm for a long period of time since they come into the competition. So for me, that's an easy connection. I'm invested there. And then secondly, I like to tell a story, and Storm's got an amazing story. And for me, it was about bringing that to life and being able to put that on a jumper, so the people that are a part of that, not only on the field, feel connected to this artwork, so they can feel like it's for them as well, because that's part of our culture, is about telling the story and feeling connected as a community. So, and Storm have a very strong community. For me, on the east coast of Australia, a lot of our mobs, not all, but a lot, connect with the Rainbow Serpent story. And in Victoria we have it, and it's called Biami, and it talks about that journey and that cultural connection. So for me, I use that idea to the snake. So each line, that's 25 years the Storm has been in existence, and that's the backbone, that all the yellow lines. And then obviously the purple lines represent the ribs, and they also represent the people and the players. As you can see, there's ups and downs as well. So each year there's adversity to overcome. There's highs, winning games, lows, losing players and losing games. But they all go through it together, and like the snake as well, each year changes. There's also a darker colour on a few of the years, which is represents their really successful years where they've won grand finals. So for me, it's about the journey for Storm over the 25 years and who's been a part of that. You've got to understand where you've come from to know where you're going, and I think Storm did that very well. And people that come into the organisation, players, be it or staff, they get a learning of who they are, who the Storm are and where they're from and what they've done to overcome and what it means to be successful as their community in the NRL. So for me, that's what I wanted it to represent. The diamonds on the side of the jumper, I wanted it to say, in part of my father's culture, the diamonds means man, and for me, there's layered diamonds on the side, which means, you know, all the men and that have done the work on the field, but also for women, it's a half diamond, so they're also represented as well. So throughout the whole organisation of the Storm, it's all the people. So it doesn't just mean the players on the park. It means the people that get them on the park, the physios, the back of house stuff, which is so important to allow the players to do their job, which is, win football matches. For me, it's just part of my contribution to the Storm, and then they can use it to continuate the story and for the next artist to be a part of that as well. So it's been an honour.
Maybe if you can explain a little bit about your role with Darty and what you're doing day to day.
Yeah, so Darty Manwaro is the organisation I work for. We're an Aboriginal community organisation across Victoria. We do a lot of work with families, around family violence, around trauma, around healing, and we just have multiple programs. We have 7 offices across the state. We have a phone line that's accessed for men 24 hours a day, which is called the brother-to-brother line. We have a family violence program for men to come into the program. That's a 16-week program to support men that use family violence to understand their accountability and support them in their journeys, and then reconnect them with their families if possible, and with a youth program as well, which is where we work with young people, connecting them to identity, understanding accountability, understanding how to be young men and young women. It's very community orientated. We're led by what our community need, and we continue to develop that and evolve that as our culture would have, as well. So we are a young organisation, but we are thriving at the moment. We're all about inclusiveness and around supportiveness, around setting up for community to have a safe place to be and to congregate as well. So if it's just a coffee or a feed, or if it's more than that, there's an opportunity as well.